Alright, hello and welcome to Bevo's Tech Back, episode number 53. Well, I've been doing some work. I have a little bit to catch up on. The first thing to take a look at is, if we notice, we're over here at the little blood altar we've been working on. And we, technically, let's turn this thing off. We have a second floor. Well, technically this is the, no, this is the second floor, it's the third floor. And down here we have a first floor. Right now, what I'm trying to figure out is how I want to do the stairs. I kind of like using the same pattern I have up here. These things got to get replaced, and I'll be doing that fairly shortly. Overall, I like it. I need to find a way that I can, like, round this edge here that's not going to look too terribly bad. I want to avoid having something that's just a blunt edge, and I'm not sure how well something like this would work. It's definitely an option, though. And somewhere around here there is a creeper dying a most unfortunate death. If he's down in there, he deserves it. Alright, let's get down here. So what I'm thinking for this entire area right here, we're going to put some walls up here. Not today, but eventually there will be walls put up here. And we'll have archways in between the staircases to access the interior. And then within here is where I'm going to have stuff like certain rituals that are, say, small enough to fit in here, but don't necessarily need to be out in the open. Hello. Right as he got to me, he died. Maybe things like the alchemical brewing and stuff. Just various bits of blood magic that I don't necessarily want to have out around the landscape. So first thing that's awesome to note is we have some elven mana spreaders here, which have sped it up a very little bit. See, there's like no mana in here because it's being sent elsewhere. I added sparks to these pools. I had some before just to keep this going, and the, what is this, the terrestrial agglomeration plate? Yeah, whatever. But what I've done is, rather than have mana spreaders shooting mana everywhere like I had been doing, I opted to use sparks. So this one has a spark that has the recessive trait on it, so it will basically push mana to any other spark in the area. There is a pool in here. This is just a regular spark, there's nothing on it. And then over at these mana pools, they also have sparks, but these are dominant, which means that they will pull mana from other sources, but they won't pull it from another dominant. And the little thing over here is also dominant. So if I ever need more flowers, I don't need to worry about running out of mana. Not that I will ever need more flowers. So anyway, if you notice, this is off. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. I should be generating more than enough mana for this. But for some reason, if I log off, it turns itself off. Not really worried about it, though. If we go ahead and do a right click, though, it'll go ahead and activate. Get these nice little particle effects going on. Alright, there we go. And the way that this normally works is, if you want a resource, you just basically throw it through the portal. You have to throw through the catalyst item. For example, if we make some mana pearls, well, actually, tell you what, we've got a good mixture of stuff right here. Not that, that. Alright, so that's enough stuff, right? So, for example, clearing space off my hotbar, so that's where it lands. 2 mana steel will get you 1 elementium, one of these little pink things. A mana pearl will get you pixie dust. Alright, and it is 1 for 1 for the pixie dust and the mana pearls. Alright, and mana diamonds, I believe, get you dragon stones? Yeah. Some of the other stuff you can do, you can throw your book in here, of course, and they get you back the version with elven knowledge. You can also throw in living wood to get back something called dreamwood, which is a white version of it for the elven crafting stuff. And now this is basically an output for the next minute and a half to 2 minutes. It's going to spit out 1 piece of wood at a time. It's a little tiny bit slow. Anyway, this stuff is pretty neat. I was actually considering trying to use it over at the blood altar area, but I'm not sure if I really want to. The planks are actually really nice. They're used to make the crafty crate. I've actually not used that. Alright. So, what else have I done or been working on? Alright, so if we come on over here, if you can't tell, I actually tried making an episode before this, and I recorded it, and I have to be honest, I just didn't like it, so we said, nope, and we're starting over. Alright, so we have everything else working good over here, right? The main thing you might notice is that there is no sounds of minecarts below. That's because I had to tear up all the minecart tracks. I was running into a problem that when I would log out, or whenever I'd log back in, I'm not sure which it was, the minecart itself would randomly stall out. And it wasn't always the same spot, it was different spots. And I have seen it stall out at spots right after a booster, places where it could not possibly have had no momentum. So it's, rather than deal with that and having it choke the boilers I have in the mob farm, I opted to instead just use the item conduit out of Under IO. It's fairly easy to use. I mean, it routes really easily, and it does the exact same thing that it was doing before. We have saplings going into the right planters, seeds going into the right planters, everything else is being dumped over here into the ender chest. I still want to use something, do something that uses minecarts, I don't know what. I'm kind of sad that this didn't work out really, but it's, I have not had it fail once yet this way, and hopefully it stays that way. Alright. I don't really think there's anything else that is worth mentioning that I've been working on or that I attempted to do. I think the only other thing that I tried doing that also, again, failed completely horribly was setting up a bit of an item collection thing over here at the monster farm. Good old Rat Labs. I really do like that sign. So what I found out rather amusingly is that item conduits from Under IO cannot attach to vacuum hoppers, which is not that bad of a problem because I was going to do like a little item collection thing in here. Oh, and I fixed walls. I was going to connect it like this, right? Let's go ahead and get an empty hand. I don't think we need empty, but just in case. So if you notice, this has a little green and a little blue bar on the output thing here. That means it should be outputting both items and fluids that way. Now the problem to this is that even though we have this set to extract, it's always active for the items. And this definitely has items in it. It's not pulling anything out. And it's not a destination thing because I before had been trying this with these things unlocked. And it still didn't work. So it's they just don't connect to each other. I need like a buffer inventory between them. So I've put this on hold until I can come up with a better solution. Under IO has its own vacuum chest. I could use that, but I really need something that picks up the excess experience that the Killer Joes don't get, which is why I went with the vacuum hopper. Worst case scenario, I can probably put like a little chest or something next to it, but I really don't want to do that. Or if I do, I'm going to have the chest come out the back because I don't want you to be able to see it inside the chamber. And I think really that's the only thing that I have done that I haven't really caught up upon. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright though, so as for today, what I would like to do. I have an idea, but you know, rather than spoil it, I think we're just going to go do it. So I will see you there in like a minute maybe. You'll never guess where we're at. So after that quick little break there, we are in the Twilight Forest. More specifically, we're at my little as of yet to be named village that I honestly forgot about. Yeah, it's a nice little place. I'm thinking of calling it Dawn because Twilight, Dawn is the safe area. Anyway, what we're doing today, we are going to be setting up a little building here to house Growthcraft. Mainly, we want to set it up so that we can have 2 processing chains, one for wine, the other for apple cider. Apple cider means we also need to get a little apple orchard going, which is not a problem. We have a ton of saplings. This will get us all the apples we ever need. I'm actually contemplating using the apple trees from Growthcraft just because it'll fit better, I think. Because, I mean, we have the Growthcraft grape vines and stuff here. I could also do the ones from Pam's Harvestcraft, though I don't think those make enough apples. Because I really don't want a massive orchard, I just want something that looks neat. The building we're going to be doing for this is going to be fairly small. We only need it to be big enough to house, 6 machines, I believe? And then the barrels, which we can quote-unquote move in and out. What I did forget, though, I probably should have gotten some dollies, because how else are you going to move the barrels around? That would have been smart. Alright. So anyway, I am thinking a small little area. I would like to be able to access the grapes easily from it, as well as wherever we do the apples. The apples, I'm thinking, will just be like planted next to the building. So it's not going to be too complicated. So let's go ahead and set it back just a little bit over here. And for the sake of making me pull my hair out, we're going to build the main entrance to this at an angle. Oh yeah. This is either going to be fantastic or terrible. My money's on terrible. Alright. So let's see. Like right here sounds like a good spot, right? So that's an exterior wall. Even though my tower has double walls, this is just going to be single because I think it fits. Having stuff like this works well. Alright. So wall, we're going to go back, let's say a good... Okay, if we go there, then we have slope. We're not going to get a door that's going to fit that really well, but that's okay. I don't really need a door for this. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be okay if we take a slope. It's going to have 3 effective. Be double door. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, I think that was too far. One more. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you'll have slope, doorway, slope. Let's go ahead and get some of these guys. No, not like that. And then you end up with something like that where you just come in this way. I think that works. We're probably not going to be using the cobblestone brick here, though. We'll probably use wood. Something to make it look like it's holding up the roof. Similarly, we're also going to be adding spruce wood. You know what? No. Yeah, no. No, that's fine. Let's see. So the way we did it over here is basically anytime there was a corner, we had the spruce stuff being put up to act as a support. So this is going to be a mini version of that, kind of, without any of the second story stuff. So that's 3. You know, I have a jetpack. I can fly. Let's take advantage of that for now. The first time I was in here, I really didn't want to use too much magic stuff, but I mean, really, at this point, I have, for the version of the Twilight Forest I have done all in here that I can do, so it's not something I really need to worry about trivializing anymore. I could explore, I think, eventually, and I might find some new stuff, but it's going to have some really, really ugly borders, and I'm not too interested in that particular aspect of it. I think that might be a little overkill with the spruce wood. Alright. You know what? And we can still... I don't know, would that be too much in the way of like wood like right at the front there? And then if I did that... No, that would need to be further back, wouldn't it? Because that's like way too narrow. I don't know. Let's find out. I definitely can't do this junk because it will. Oh, come on, get over the post. You can do it. Nah, I think if I were to do this, I would need to have these posts like back over here, so that you see a clear view of the slanted stuff. And now, unfortunately for me, the only... Oh no, that's not true. There's an axe on display in here. I can totally steal that. It's not really stealing if I made it myself, is it? Alright, let's get this back. This is, I think, probably one of the worst things for mod packs and Minecraft in general, one of the worst things I have is my ability to build creative stuff, so trying to do this is always painful to watch. If it's not painful to watch, at least believe me, it is painful to do. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this right here then. We need that axe in the hotbar. Oh, yeah, that's way better. That's way, way, way better. I should have brought my monosteel axe. Yeah, then you'll have the entranceway in here, and it'll be... Yeah, I think that'll be fantastic, actually. I have to be honest, so far I like what we have here. I do want to add that, however. Oh yeah, that's sexy. Very, very sexy. For this one, I really don't think there needs to be a cross thing right there because there's no interior wood post. So we'll just knock that. Alright, so we're in here, right? We've got our machines. We need 2 fruit presses. We need the 2 fruit presses, 2 brew kettles. This isn't going to be set up to be done by automation of any kind, so it doesn't really matter if it is not the tightest little... It doesn't need to be set up for automation. The only way I could really automate this, I think, and have it look still vanilla-ish-y or Twilight Forest-y, would be to use Steve's Factory Manager and hide the cabling. Under IO just wouldn't fit right. I think Buildcraft might look right, but then you'd ruin it with the autarkic gates. Alright. This will need a redstone signal, so we'll be installing a lever, like right here. And for the sake of keeping it close, we'll just add the brew kettle here. Once whatever is in here leaves the kettle, it gets put into a barrel. So, I mean, this is really all you need. And then we can also have one set up over here and there. I was going to say, where did you get a signal from? Tile block carpenter slope dot name. Oh, something broke. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to get that. I think that was probably from using the bark. I should not have done that. Alright, please combine. Thank you. Alright, and now for the barrels. Now, I could have the barrels in a little overhang area. Or tell you what, you're going to come in here, right? And the first thing you're going to see is going to be this opposite corner. I could put something there that's interesting to look at. Or I could have the barrels over here in the corner and then the brew stations to the left and to the right. I think the thing that you'd want to see first when you came in here would be the barrels. So what we're going to do, actually, we're going to move these. And where am I picking up these invisible objects? I don't want you. You can cause nothing but grief. Alright. Okay, let's move these. Do you take an axe? You do. They coated the material right. Alright. So you walk in, first thing you see is the opposite corner, which means we want to do like barrel, 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 barrel. And for now, barrel. So we'll go kettle, kettle, press, press. And stop making that freaking sounds. This one over here just not doing anything. Why do you have to be special? Alright, so you come in here and the first thing you see is barrels. I like that. So I was going to put a spruce floor down here, and then I remembered something. These brew kettles, they take fire to work. And a spruce floor with fire does not mix. So what we're actually going to be doing is living rock. Is that too bright, you think? Or is that... No, I think that'll work. It'll look like a really colorful concrete. And we are just making a little fire pit there for now. I think what I'll do is whenever I need a fire, I might look into using a, what is it? It's a Tinker MechWorks has something called an igniter. You basically hit a button, supply a redstone signal to it, and it creates fire. And I think that would be really neat to have in here. And I think it's sufficiently old school. Well, old tech, or whatever you want to call it. Oh. There we go. And I just realized I left my, axe at home, so I'm slowly starving. Woe is me, I might actually have to eat food. I'm not quite sure how I want to make this look good, but I'll work on that later. Alright. So far this is going pretty good though. Alright. Oh, and I added spruce wood stairs since I couldn't use it over by the brew kettles. I decided I'd use that to hold up the barrels. And we have some iron bars here to kind of look like they're like stopping them from rolling over. Alright. And I think there's actually, I think I should put something in the back here, though I'm not sure what. Because when you come in here, you can barely see it, and right now it just looks like a space. There's not enough to actually put a barrel in there because you won't be able to access it. And I really don't think that, I mean, will that work? You know what? No, we'll go with that. I think that looks okay. Yeah, it's pretty neat, actually. I like that. It gives the room kind of a little odd shape because it's got a little bit of a slope here. No, I like that. We'll go with that. So I think we've got a good foundation here for this building. If you come on right inside, you see the barrels and stuff. The corners, I really didn't have anything good to put there, so rather than just have like regular corners, I used these carpenter's slopes. And I have to be honest, I really like the way that looks. It makes the room look kind of round, not as regular plain as it would be otherwise. And to top that off, since we have the irregular entrance here, I think it's a nice fit. The only thing I don't like is you can see these things coming to a point, but there's nothing I can do about that. So we have this here, you have the barrels and stuff, is where the wine or cider that's in progress would go. In this case, it would be wine on the left, cider on the right. We have these brew kettles, which I don't actually think I need. I think these are actually only for hops, now that I think about it. They're for making ale. I think both wine and cider go directly from the fruit press into the ferment barrel. So anyway, if we go ahead and look inside this thing right now, we've got a bucket's worth. I think it's 1,000 millibuckets, I believe, of grape juice. So I can right-click that, and it gives me a bucket of grape wine. I have to ask, can you place this in world? Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright. Where did my bucket go? Alright, so the handling for the buckets on that's a little wonky. Alright, but anyway, if we go ahead and get back here. Alright, and that's all it's going to get is that. So for now, we're going to put the bucket up so we don't lose it. And what we do need to get, though, is some another word, just to get the process started. So these the wine and the cider and the hops and stuff you can make, they're pretty much exactly the same process as brewing potions. It's just in barrel form. So right now we have 1,000 units of grape wine that is young, so it's just regular grape wine. Right now this is actually grape juice, it's not grape wine. And then to it you would add things like the netherwort, redstone dust, glowstone dust. It gives you kind of a little hint right here, though it can be kind of hard to guess at times. But what this is basically going to do, we have to put this in here, and I think it takes about a full Minecraft day for this to progress. So it's not a quick thing, and it is much better to have a full barrel to do this than it is to have an empty barrel, because this will take a long time. But we will find ourselves eventually with some, let's see, grape wine. We're going to end up with the very first stage, I believe, is fermented grape wine, which is resistance, and then you can get resistance 2 or extended resistance. You can't make both extended and 2, though, so it's one or the other. It depends whether you use redstone or glowstone. And yeah, at no point do we actually use the brew kettles for this, so they're neat, but they're not needed. I could probably just replace that with a regular cauldron and put water in it just so it looks interesting. But I think what we'll do is we'll leave it there for now. And if you've gotten this far and you've been yelling at me, yes, I know, I realize that was a dumb mistake. Then it's not the first time I've made said mistake either. Well, that's staying there since I don't have my pick anymore. Anyway, the last thing that I really need to do is I need to get a roof on this. This is the thing that's been kind of worrying me, because I might have built myself into a corner here based on the style of roofs that I use. And this is going to be a fairly low, fairly flat roof, right? But I've not had to make one of these before accounting for an opening like this. So this could go very poorly. It could go fantastically. I have no idea. The only way to try is to build. I think I've already failed. How are we going to get that thing to come across? Just for now, what we're going to do is put down some blocks so I have something to build off of. As far as I know, there's no slope that we can do that's going to be angled and up. Oblique exterior slope? You know, that might be what I need. It's going to be a little odd on the inside. And it needs to be out further. But I think those might be it, actually. So it's oblique exterior. Alright. Oh. Carpenter's oblique exterior slope. Okay. Alright, so for the interior of this, what do I need to do? Is it simple enough to just put these things back down? Will they make... No, they will not make the right slope. Okay, what else we got? Carpenter's oblique interior. Oh, we got it. That's fantastic. Okay. Okay, oblique interior. It's like they had this planned out when they made the mod or something. So, you ready to see the finished quote-unquote masterpiece? Dun dun dun. Alright, so it doesn't have any windows, and to be honest, I'm not sure where I'd put them if I did add any. I think it just may not go. It may not have any windows. I mean, for the most part, the only spot I'd have available would be like right here, or right here, which is covered up by machinery, so that's not good. I could put it here, but I mean, at that point, it's going to be, I think, there and there. So I'm not sure if that would actually look good or not. And I really can't do anything on this wall here. And again, it's going to be the same problems on the other side. So I think it just may not have any windows. I think that's okay, though. I can find other ways to decorate it so that it really doesn't matter. The backside here does look plain, but at the moment that's not really a problem because it's not used or seen. The only thing I really need to do to finish this off, besides actually getting some more supplies out here, is to get some apple trees going, and I think we are going to do a little experiment first. I've not seen what the Growthcraft apple trees look like. I've not actually used them, but you plant these apple cores, I believe. So let's go ahead. And that gives you a apple sapling. Let's go ahead and bone meal this thing, see what you get. So that just looks like a regular tree to me. It just... So I don't know. I mean, if this is like those, they're actually going to grow apples and I just ruined it. Or we can go with the known option. Yeah, all that, we got a single sapling back, and it's a regular oak sapling, I believe, right? Oh no, it's actually an apple sapling. Okay. So what we're going to do, for now, we're just going to plant the 2 trees here. We'll see which one behaves the best. It's probably going to have to wait for next episode. But we're going to have a little apple growing contest here between them. Oh, check that out. It actually gets a little green apple on there. You know, this gives me way more apples, but I think the fact that this has apples on it might win, and it looks a lot better than the paper cross-section ones you get off of the Pam's trees. I think we have some over here, actually. So let's have some fair representation, alright? So, this is a Pam's apple tree. It's made by having sprites intersect each other at 90-degree angles. It works okay. We have the Biomes of Plenty one, which has no 3D apples. You just see them on the leaves like this, right? And plus you have the little apple blossoms. Or we have the Growthcraft apples, which have the actual apples growing underneath the tree, which looks amazing. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think that this might be my favorite, actually. So, I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys, if you have any opinions, which ones you like best, leave me a comment in the message below, and we'll go with whichever one has the more popular response, though I have to admit I'm leaning towards the Growthcraft ones, if only because they look really nice. Really, really nice. I think that's going to be it for today, though. I still need to do a little touch-up here, including getting the roadway to connect to here nicely. I'm not too terribly worried about that, though. I'm pretty sure I can make it look good. At least I hope I can make it look good. But really, it's a little minor thing. The big thing today was catching up on some stuff that had happened and making this little Growthcraft area. I also need to get started producing some wine and cider to fill these barrels up. Anyway, I'm rambling again, and that's a good sign that I'm well past my normal comfort zone for recording. I want to go ahead and thank you for watching this episode of Bevo's Tech Pack. If you have any questions or comments, like which apple you prefer or a better way to do the building, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And as always, have a good day.